Yo, 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 welcome to the podcast. My name is Tega. Welcome to Fighting Fragz. Had a little rebranding, It is what it is. I just like the new rebranding better. Figured I'd just go ahead and start up podcasting again, doing this probably 30 minutes before I go to work. And anytime I have a news drop, I'm going to try to get 2 episodes out a week. Seems possible. Seems very possible. Hopefully we'll continue it. But once again, the theme of the podcast, we're just going to be talking fighting, whether it be UFC, boxing, just depending on what comes on my radar, my takes on it, and just different video gaming stuff that I've been really into. But how you guys been doing? Been all right? I hope so. Been doing great myself, alhamdulillah. What a crazy couple weeks of fighting. A lot of crazy announcements, but we are only, I believe it's 10 days away from the UFC 302 event, which, man, talk about a crazy good card. Just based on, I guess you'd call it your last 3 fights. I mean, you got Kevin Holland versus Michael, I can't say his name, but you know who I'm talking about. Kevin Holland? Dude's just in there, say what you want about Kevin Holland. I didn't like the guy at first. I really didn't like the guy at first. Didn't like his personality. Didn't really like the fighter. Like, he talked a lot, but I've grown to like that guy. That guy's pretty cool. That guy, he seems to, it looks like just step up to what I like to see, which is the anytime, anywhere, whoever you want. And maybe that's just because I'm not paying attention to his media, his social media info. But the dude definitely seems like an anytime, anywhere, wherever you want type of guy. So Kevin Holland versus this Michael, who I don't know. So this guy, he's got to be a pretty good competitor to be on the main card. Michael's 19-7. Kevin Holland's 25-11. So I hope Kevin Holland wins it, man. Like I said, Kevin Holland went from being one of my least favorite fighters to being easily one of my top favorite fighters, hands down. He's probably one of my favorite. He just, he's there. He's when you talk about bad motherfuckers, he's definitely up there. He's going to be any place, anywhere, anytime. Speaking of bad motherfuckers, then we got my boy, the one and only Sean Strickland. Now let me tell you guys something. All right, Sean Strickland versus the boy Paulo Costa. Hopefully Paulo doesn't pull out of this. Doesn't he have a pretty good? Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else, but I feel like Paulo Costa had a pretty good run of just pulling out of fights. And like I said, sometimes injuries do happen. So it could have been anything realistically. It didn't have to be. He's running scared. Injuries do happen. Now, I could have my story completely wrong. Maybe he has fought, but I was pretty sure it's Paulo Costa who's avoided a bunch of fights unintentionally or intentionally, depending on who you are. But maybe I'm just slandering his good name. But let's say this fight does go down. How do I see it? My boy Sean Strickland's going to stand and bang with Paulo Costa. I hope Paulo's going to try to wrestle him, and hopefully Sean shows off his ability to just stand up. Because I don't really know. But I want to see this. Sean Strickland's one of my favorite fighters, not only because his social media presence, which to me makes a great champion, but also he's a stand and bang king. He's, if you want to take it down, whatever. But as far as, once again, just something about some bad motherfuckers, dude. It's just, those are who I like to see fight. I got Sean Strickland over Paulo Costa. I'm not going to make a bet on the Kevin Holland versus Michael, but Sean Strickland over Paulo Costa. Is that 5 rounds? Does it say? It's the co-main. I think it only might be 3. It doesn't say how many rounds it is. Hopefully it's 5. That way Sean will hopefully TKO him. But I got Sean Strickland as the winner. And then you got the main event, which is, wow, man, just think about this main event possibilities. You got the boy Islam Makhachev versus the boy Dustin Poirier. You got Islam Makhachev, who is 25 wins, 1 loss. Remind you, that 1 loss came from him getting dropped by standing and banging, essentially, and he got caught with a hand. So Islam Makhachev can't, I mean, just like everybody else, you can be knocked out, but unlike the guy who, people compare him to, Khabib, a lot of these guys, I would say they didn't get caught. They didn't really, if they did get caught, they were really effective at getting the takedown and recovering. Some people say that Khabib got caught by Conor and a few other people. I don't know. That can be up for debate. However, Islam got dropped, completely KO'd, I'm pretty sure it was. And he's fighting Dustin Poirier, who's got them hands, boy. Leader of the Gilly Gang. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Gilly Gang there. All the guillotine boys out there. Dustin Poirier, who's going to 100% try to pull a guillotine on Islam. Well, hopefully that doesn't get his ass beat, because Islam's that man in that clinch, in that wrestling. He's that man, he's that boy, he's that dog. But Dustin Poirier, man, I've never been so split in my life, because I like both of these fighters immensely. I used to hate Dustin Poirier also, but that was coming from my Conor thing, and I didn't like the way Dustin Poirier looked. Now I've kind of changed my feelings on him too, just because he's got that dog in him, man. He's standing there and he'll bang with you. He's putting people down. He's got a good sense of humor. Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier. Jeez, I'm gonna go ahead and get Islam. Probably by submission, and that's definitely in 5 rounds for sure. So Islam by submission, probably second round, Islam by submission for sure. Islam's gonna win. I just don't see a world where Islam stands and bang. I said that because I thought about it just now, and I cut myself off, because surely Islam doesn't try to stand and bang with Dustin Poirier. It doesn't make any sense to stand and bang with him when, I believe his takedown game is going to be so much better than Dustin's. But we've seen in a world where, different camps, I suppose, but Kazmat's try to stand and bang with people. I'm pretty sure Islam's trying to prove that he can stand and bang with people. That pride gets in the way. But if the pride doesn't get in the way, I got Islam Makhachev over Dustin Poirier inside 2 rounds. But overall, Islam wins, even if it goes to full 5. Because he's just going to do like he did Volkanovski in the first round, or in the first fight, and just take down and lay and pray, And even if it ends like the Volkanovski first round, where Volk's got the top and he's kind of just what I call lay and praying, right? Where you're just holding on and hoping the round ends. Even if it ends that way, which I don't see, because I don't think Dustin's as good as Volk. Dustin's good, but that's if you stand and bang. Dustin will look really good in the bare knuckle fighting championship, I feel like. If they have enough money and they bring him over there, he's going to be that man, because, it's what he does. I was looking through the fights here to see if there's anything else. The only thing I really see that I was really, there's a couple of fight nights coming up right after that, but that's a little bit off. Like I said, you got June 8th. This is in where I'm from, in Louisville. Looks like Jared Cannonier, Nuzri Imov, Dominic Reyes, Justin Jacoby, Raw Rosas Jr. versus Ricky Taroskis. Yeah, a bunch of other people. No offense to them. I don't care enough about them. Then you got Alex Perez. You really don't have a lot of good fights coming up again until Chimaev Whittaker, which is weird. And that's all the way out in June, so it's going to be a blank June. But at the end of June, just a quick preview, we got my boy Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. This was Jamal Hill versus Khalil Roundtree, but I'm almost positive that it said Khalil was out and that they were picking up Yuri for that, but I don't know for sure. So we'll hold on to that for right now. Remember, that's on June 29th. Conor makes the comeback, so we might do like a live podcast or something for the Conor fight. But Islam Makhachev, Dustin Poirier, who do you guys got? And if you want to even go as far as quoting rounds, like what rounds, etc., because that fight's crazy. I do believe that the Paul versus Tyson fight is coming up as well. That's on the 20th of July. That's at the end of the next month. It's heating up. I do think that the Paul versus Tyson fight is probably about as a money grab as it can get. Just like the other fights. You know, Paul's fighting I think they said he's going to be 58 at the time of the fight. So he's 57 now. Way out of his prime, Tyson. You know, and like they said, it's a actual pro fight. So you got a pro Tyson versus Paul. Part of me wants to say Tyson's going to win it, but I sure hope so. Like, I'm trying to think, like, if you were to take... I'm trying to think, like, in a world where of comparisons. Like, maybe if a bunch of YouTubers started playing basketball and they started playing basketball and they go to play, like, let's say, an old pro player. Except for, like, I guess it's different than any sport, really, then, right? Like, combat sports is different than most sports because combat sports, I mean, I can't say that either because you suffer damage in other sports. I was going to say, like, if you get, like, a YouTuber who just, like, I Show Speed, maybe, who he plays soccer against, like, a 58-year-old Messi who, I know the times are messed up, but just hear me out, like a 58-year-old Messi. Messi probably keeps up just based off of experience, right? But I was going to say, like, they don't suffer as much body damage as, like, boxers because of CTE and stuff, but at the same time, they do have that wear and tear, like, on their knees, and I think you still can't compare the two. So my heart tells me, my gut and my brain tell me Tyson, but man, just watching this Paul kid destroy a lot of these washed up fighters, and like, I know, like, the UFC fighters aren't necessarily professional boxers, but I mean, if you look at Anderson, I guess he's bigger than Anderson Silva. Like, even look at the Anderson Silva thing. Like, Anderson Silva technically beat some boxers, but Anderson Silva weighed a lot less. It'll be an interesting. I wonder how much Paul weighs compared to Mike Tyson. Let me just Google that real quick because that's going to be the deciding factor. Also, right, is like how big they are. 220. How much does Tyson weigh? So 220. Tyson versus Paul is at, it doesn't say the weight limit. Maybe I can pull the Wikipedia up here. Yeah, it doesn't say. Sorry about that noise, but yeah, I don't see here just off of a quick Google. 240 pounds. So he's gonna go up to 240, it says, and then he's gonna drop back down to 220. Versus Mike, who I think's a natural 220. Yeah, we'll see, man. I kind of think that that actual, if he's putting on the weight and he's not used to the weight, he's gonna slug, like, just using the, what would you call it, fight math, which sometimes doesn't always add up, but just fight math wise, using fight math, you would think that Paul's going to run out of oxygen pretty early because, you know, more mass requires more oxygen to move. And if you're not used to that, you know, need for the oxygen to move said mass, then you can get gassed. But surely, because this fight's been announced for so long, that he's been trying to adjust his cardio. But man, like I said, MMA math never seems to work, right? Like, you can, and I guess I don't watch enough boxing to say that boxing math doesn't work either, but just using fighting logic with MMA math, like that idea, man, I don't think that they're gonna be able to last that long out there, you know? I think that he's gonna probably get hit by Tyson, who I'm assuming, like I said, is a natural 220. And that's assuming, which is not something you're supposed to do, but a natural 220 versus Unnatural 220. Just use your logic. Just think about it. I think Tyson wins. Oh man, it's hard to say that too. I'm not willing to put money on it because boxing's so sketchy. When I watched the Tyson Fury fight versus Ulsk, or however you say his name, they just, I in my heart I wanted Tyson Fury to win. But to be honest with you, it's Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk. I don't know how you say his last name. But shoot, I don't know, dude. Like, I just, I want to say that I looked at it and was like, Tyson Fury's the man. He's going to beat this dude. He's naturally taller than this other guy. Yeah, I would say Tyson Fury was going to win, but he didn't. I was reading, and it's just one of those crazy mind. Like I said, the math doesn't work. But shout out to Alexander Usyk, because he did a fantastic job at stopping. I wouldn't say he stopped him. All right, look, in the 9th round, in my opinion, he did stop him. Fury really kind of just got his ass kicked, and even after the fight, like, he did okay. But I will say that, yeah, I would say that he just got beat, dude. Like, he couldn't get anything in. I think his fight styles also, like, use a lot of his weight to drag the opponent down. You know, hug, hold them, drag them, make them carry your weight, make them tired from carrying your weight. And dude just didn't let Tyson do that. Dude just jabbed Tyson, kept him back, pretty much just beat his butt, beat him up. You know, every time he come in for the hug, he would manage to slug him off, or like, you know. And he kept Tyson Fury in the corner a lot, kept the pressure on him. Tyson seemed to not be able to get into the flow of things. And like I said, I'm not a boxing fan as much, but I know enough about fighting that, like, man, I see that they said that Tyson Fury has a rematch clause that he can invoke, and then he plans on invoking it as soon as they're medically cleared. Yeah, right back. See if Tyson Fury can't make the adjustments needed to do what he needs to do to get his title belts back, dude. Because that's actually insane to think about, that they were just that a man like that, like Tyson Fury, could just get beat up. You know, that's nuts to even think about, like that type of beat up. Like, you expected. It was a good fight. I'm not gonna like, oh, it was a blowout, because it wasn't really it was, but it wasn't like a bad blowout where you're like, somebody please stop the fight. You know, it wasn't like that type of blowout. But it was like, dang, Tyson Fury just couldn't get it going. So, and like I said, boxing's sketchy. I don't know. Like, I just feel like boxing's real sketchy. It seems like they always make these big money fights, and they always do like a 2 or 3-parter type of money fight, because they did it with the what is the large African American fella that Tyson Fury fought, and they fought I think 3 times or something. Big cash money, you know, big cash money grab. So, you know, we'll see. Hopefully we do get to see the Ryan Garcia versus Sean O'Malley boxing match. They were kind of like going back and forth, trading jabs a little bit. You know, Sean O'Malley gets to fight whatever the hell, Merab. Sean O'Malley gets to fight Merab, and I'm pretty sure it's at the Sphere, which is insane to think about. But they did like there was this video that came out of Ryan Garcia and Sean O'Malley. Maybe they're on live or something, and they're like on FaceTime together, or an Instagram call together, or whatever social media is out there that does calls. And he pretty much just says, hey, maybe after I knock out Merab, me and you can go at it. And hell, bring it around. Let them get their money. Sean O'Malley's got them hands. He's not a professional boxer like Ryan Garcia, so Ryan Garcia will probably kill him. But get your money, young man. You know, you're the champion. Get it while you can. I don't think you beat Merab. I hope you do. I hope Sean O'Malley defeats Merab. But that's so far out, I don't think it's even on the UFC roster right, or on the UFC page right now. But I hope you do beat Merab. I hope Merab doesn't take you down and just fucking murder you like I think he's going to. But I hope you do beat Merab. I hope Sean O'Malley keeps the title, because that division is full of killers, dude. And what about, hold on, before we end the podcast, I also want to point out, what about Jon Jones officially announcing that he's back? I don't think they've officially announced any fight, but you have the interim heavyweight champion, Tom Aspinall, pretty much calling out the champion, Jon Jones, he says he's dodging him. Says that he doesn't want the fight, that Jon Jones is scared of him. I don't think that's the case. I think Jon Jones is looking at it money-wise. Jon Jones probably doesn't have a lot more fights in his career. Not because I think that maybe he knows he's too old. I don't think he's too old, but I think he's just looking at the damage, if he does lose anything, it'll be in his older age, and when he does lose, what that's going to cost him fight-wise, because he is known as the GOAT currently. Right up there with the GOATs, right? But he's definitely the GOAT if you think about fights. You got Mighty Mouse, who's the GOAT. Look, there's different the GOATs, you know what I'm saying? But Jon Jones is one of them. But Tom Aspinall's convinced himself that Jon Jones is avoiding him. And that's not the case. I think Jon Jones is just trying to get the money. He said that he's going to come back and he wants Stipe. So I think they're going to announce the Stipe fight soon. And then I think he was talking about fighting Alexander Pereira. The giant native fella from Brazil or wherever he's from, but he's a giant fella. Yeah, dude, make that fight happen. Look, I know that Alexander Pereira is kind of a lighter dude. He's not necessarily a natural heavyweight. He might be, but you get what I mean in the MMA world. He's not really natural heavyweight, so it might be Jon Jones picking on a smaller fella, which people say he does. I don't think so. I think he just fights the best of the best, and he knows that Alexander Pereira fight versus Jon Jones is a bag. Right up there with Conor McGregor, Khabib money. Alexander Pereira versus Jon Jones is the bag. I would 100% buy that fight versus how I usually get the fights, if you know what I'm saying. So make it happen. Tom Aspinall, get it out of your head that Jon Jones is dodging you, because he's not. You're not that important. Thank you guys for hanging out on the podcast. Check it out. I'm going to do 2 episodes a week, about 20, 30-minute episodes. I'm going to try to edit them down so they might be a little less, get rid of the uhs and ums and erms. But thank you guys for checking it out. Thank you for coming back to this new episode of Fighting in Fragz. Peace.